Hello and welcome to Footy Judge Mo people. This is your Monday counter views. Listen, it's officially a three-horse race. It has been a three-horse race, but Arsenal emphatic win, absolutely destroying West Ham, showing that we can be the Arsenal of last year, but even more mature. That's what happened, to be honest, yesterday. Arsenal smashing West Ham 6-0. Everyone is starting for Arsenal. Odegaard, Saka, Declan Rice, everyone is playing very, very well at the West Ham ground, at the London Stadium, forcing the fans to leave the stadium at halftime. Absolutely impressive. Impressive by Arsenal. Man City, a little bit sluggish, but they have Haaland. And that's why everyone is saying they have a lot of weapons. 2-0 against West Ham, easy. Two shots, two goals, 2-0. You walk away with the 3 points. And Liverpool against Burnley. Listen, Liverpool are a little bit looking like they miss Salah, who is back soon. They miss Salah, who is back soon. And also, we're going to touch on Man United, and Eric Ten Hag job is saved by McTominay again. But guys, if you're watching this on the replay, if you're here now, hit that like button, support the channel, subscribe if you're new, of course. And I'm here with, of course, Tom Little and Nobbins. It's your Monday. How's everybody feeling? How are you guys doing?
Doing great, doing good. Happy to be here as always.
I'm good, mate. Top of the league, no complaints.
Can't complain. But people, let's start. I want to start a little bit because just touch on Man United because I couldn't speak on him yesterday. Eric Ten Hag again, defending the whole game. Aston Villa missing chances left and right. And at the end, Man United win. The Kings of 1-0, 2-1 win again. Closing on top five on the table. Does Ten Hag, if he gets top five and he get Champions League or something, does he deserve to stay another year though?
I think that the best thing to do if you're like Ineos is to, in the summer, sit down, have a conversation with them and be like, right, mate, what's going on? Are you gearing towards playing the Ajax way because you've signed all these Dutch league players, or what? Because there was that infamous interview, like a couple of months ago where it was like, no, we'll never play like Ajax did. And then there was a whole discussion about, well, what is the direction of this United side? What's the purpose? What's the point? So I think that conversation needs to be had. And then if he does get top five, which might be Champions League football, depending on how the English sides do in Europe this season, if they get deep into the competitions, fifth spot might be enough to get your Champions League spot, then I think it probably would make sense to keep him on, at least for the start of next season, and give him that opportunity. I think you could also maybe say that, he's had to, I know managers need to deal with injuries. You could make the argument, well, he's had to deal with a lot of injuries as well. He's only just getting his fully fit squad back. So, and also the past history of just sacking and signing managers. So I would probably err on the side of give him not like a contract extension or anything, but definitely at least give him the start of next season, see how things go. If it's still the same issues at play and there's no identity at the club, and stuff like the first few months of the season and the results are still bad and they're still playing bad football, then sure, then you've just got to sack it in and be like, right, well, clearly he's actually not as good as we thought. But yeah, if they get top five, there's no reason to sack him, I think.
I think that the most interesting thing about Eric Ten Hag is how him getting top five will be down to the players that he didn't want. You wanted rid of McTominay, you wanted rid of Maguire, and yet them two have been some of his best players this year. That the issue I have with Ten Hag at United is nothing he is doing, none of his imprint on United is successful. They're not playing his style of football. They're playing a style of football that has been played by many managers beforehand. His signings, bar Alessandro Martinez, have not really had the necessary impact across the 2 years. It's been older players. It's been players who were at the club before Ten Hag who have stepped up and started to drag them through. There has to be question marks asked about Eric Ten Hag because he didn't come in to play counter-attacking football. He was not brought into Manchester United to play counter-attacking Jose-style football. He was brought in because the football he was playing at Ajax was very good and United wanted to play that style. if by the start of next year, after he's probably spent another 150 million, and he's close to 600 million spent, if he is still playing counter-attacking football, the process, whatever it is, needs to be binned because it isn't worth it. It's not working. It's not going to achieve what you wanted to achieve. United have the opportunity under new ownership to go in a new direction. They need to make that decision sooner rather than later. And they need to put the expectation on Ten Hag, if he's their man, to return to the style of football that's expected of them. Because there's no point in saying you can't play this football when you spent 400 million quid on your old boys.
That was a mental quote, yeah. I can't play the style of football. You're the one signing the players, mate. What do you mean you can't play the style of football? You're literally signing the players you want.
I mean, Onana, Martinez, and Anthony's the worst. Anthony is the biggest stain on any manager in the league at the minute.
Yeah, 100%.
He's worth about 20 mil, and he spent 100 on him. That's bad enough in itself. But you've got him. Casemiro cost a load of money. Malacia came from that league. Mason Mount was someone he spent big on. Rasmus Hojlund. All these players, and you're telling me that you can't play a bit of possession football. You can't.
How about Hojlund, though? Like, how about Hojlund? How do you guys see Hojlund?
I like Hojlund.
Scoring 5 goals in the last 5 games. I think I think now he's starting to be the striker that they signed. Like he's scoring goals. His movement is good. He's very strong, actually. Score with both feet. Can score with a header. I think he's a very, very good player.
Yeah, and I think he was that before the goals, to be honest. I don't think his performances have gone up in the past, month or so. I think he was putting in basic. Exactly, yeah. That big goal drought was never his. There were some moments where he should have done better with finishing, but in general, it was never really his fault. He was making good runs. He was doing the right things. Yeah. He just had teammates who didn't seem to realise that you can pass me the ball, guys. And maybe I'll get it in the back of the net. Who knows? We won't know until we try. But he had it seemed to be Rashford, the main offender, of not really giving him the ball in the moments where he probably should have done, or maybe overcomplicating it. So I think that his performances haven't really gone up at a level. He's just always been good this season. If people actually watch the full 90s, he has been putting in some very good performances, and now we're seeing the dividends of what happens if you pass to your striker. He will score goals. Where's that 5 and 5 now in the league?
Yeah, 5 and 5. And his hold up play, like he pass him the ball, he holds the ball and then pass it to Bruno, to the coming player. I think he's very good. I think he's actually overperforming in a team that has no style of play. They don't play to his strengths, and I thought they don't play him in the spaces. I actually think he's a very, very good player. I watched him at Atalanta last year, and he was a very good player.
Yeah,
and he played
absolutely.
So quick, very, very strong forward. Also have the finishing. I actually think Man United have a very good striker on their hands, to be honest. Yeah. Kobe Mainoo as well. There are a lot of players. Dalot now is improving massively. No. Dalot isn't old.
Tom's not
Why?
impressed.
He's actually improving. Come on.
Diogo Dalot made about 3 mistakes yesterday that any competent team punished them. It's just Aston Villa decided to find every single possible way to miss yesterday. One that sticks in my mind. A cross has come in. He's put a shit header out. It's come back in again, and he's scuffed his clearance, and it's fell right to someone in the box. Unmarked.
He made that mistake that fell to Douglas Luiz at the end.
But this is the thing with Diogo Dalot. He does this constantly.
I don't think he does. I think the problem is Garnacho in front of him. He was absolutely. They played that area because Garnacho didn't defend and didn't go back. 100%. That particular area was overwhelmed with players. Jacob Ramsey was there. Moreno was going up. I think it was 2-on-1 the majority of the game.
That doesn't excuse the mistakes he was making.
He's under pressure.
I can understand being put. I guess that's what happens when you play in defence and you're away from home. You're going to be put under pressure. You're going to be put under pressure.
Why do you make excuses for Trent then when he's put under pressure?
I don't. Trent's been shit. I've never said Trent's a brilliant defender. I've never said that.
Okay,
that's one thing people can never get me on. But
I didn't know. I don't think me and you ever spoke about this then.
I think Dalot's been very good, by the way.
Huh?
I think Dalot's been very good.
I'll always say
me too. I think Dalot is one of their best players this season, most consistent players.
I think I'd sooner have Wan-Bissaka in that United team than
Wan-Bissaka.
Yeah. I think for the balance of that United team, Wan-Bissaka is needed. If Luke Shaw can stay fit, that is. If Shaw's not fit, then I understand it. But when Shaw is fit, I don't think Shaw and Dalot can play together. I don't think Dalot's got the mental capacity to do it well enough. I think it's been so many years of this from Dalot. United just haven't had this attacking fullback. That's why their standards for him are so high. At the end of the day, Tottenham have better. Pedro Porro's better. Matty Cash is arguably better.
Matty Cash was absolutely atrocious yesterday. The worst player on the pitch yesterday is Matty Cash. This guy, yes, I don't know if it's instructions from Emery.
Honestly,
Marcus Rashford took him to school and back.
Mm-hmm.
Put him at the desk. This was an absolute shit show from Matty Cash.
Sure.
No, not Matty Cash. But anyway, Diego Dalot is a good player. I think you're still hung on his time under Mourinho.
Did he even play under Mourinho?
I think
Mourinho is the one who bought him.
Isn't Mourinho the one who bought him?
I think Mourinho bought him, but I don't think he ever really played him like that.
I remember Darmian more with Mourinho.
Yeah, and like Ashley Young at right back as well. That was
he was loaned to Milan, if I'm not mistaken.
He went to Milan and like
I think he went to Milan. He went to Milan now.
I don't see it.
But with United, that there is, fundamentally, that there is a core of quite good players at United. I think, in theory, there is a world in which
there's a good young core there.
There's a world in which you can get a good tune.
Garnacho, Hojlund,
yes, 100%.
If you can figure out Martinez's injury situations, you've got a decent centre back there. It's just, I think Fernandes has been not great this year, even if the numbers might be. I don't look at his numbers as much.
Talking on the eye, he doesn't look good. I don't know where Mason Mount is.
I don't think he's having the
I know
impact.
where Mason Mount is. This is my the thing that drives me crazy. Where is Mason Mount? You spent 55 million pounds on him. Where is he?
Apparently he's still injured.
You believe he's injured?
I have no idea, mate.
Even when he was fit, he didn't play. It's crazy.
There's something, I don't know if it's true, so I'm going to tread on very sensitive ground here. I've been told by someone who knows someone that there is allegedly a Premier League footballer who has a laughing gas problem. I'm not saying any more than that, but that's what I've been told.
I don't know what.
And this person works in and around United, and this person has a theory as to who it is. I'm not saying that's the case. I'm just saying that's what I've been told in terms of an explanation of where is he. Not saying it's true. I'm saying that is what someone has told me.
I just think he's got.
What is a laughing gas? What is?
You don't know what laughing gas?
It's like
I know laughing gas, the one at the dentist.
It's like a legal high, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
A laughing gas is something that you get at the dentist before they do like an operation or something.
Yeah, but you can get like you can have like a legal high from it, I think.
So someone has a drug problem.
You can get concentrated amounts of it. So yeah.
Addiction problem. Oh right.
I just think he's got dodgy hamstrings. That's all.
Or maybe it's as simple as that.
He might just have dodgy hamstrings. Who knows? United, they have a good young core, but I don't think this core is actually going to realise the potential until they start playing the way that Ten Hag's supposed to play. Because there's only so high of a level you can achieve when you're playing counter-attack every other week.
Well, I'm not in this day and age. You cannot win the league in this day and age playing counter-attack in football. At all, to be honest. You can't. You need to have a style of play. However, I just want to ask you guys something. Man City didn't go to the Villa Park and dominated the ball. They got dominated. Arsenal didn't, if I'm not mistaken. Liverpool haven't played yet. So why are we blaming Man United?
I'm not, to be fair.
Man United defended. I'm not saying that Man United put in a world-class performance. They actually were not great. They tried to play from the back. They failed miserably. Listen, I'm watching this Man United and I see some positives and I see absolutely Oh yeah, Arsenal won against Villa, right? Is this the game? Yeah. So which team got
No,
dominated?
they won. Arsenal lost.
No,
Villa
Arsenal
beat
lost
Arsenal as
at
well.
Villa 1-0, right?
Yeah.
Arsenal lost at Villa 1-0. Man City lost at Villa 1-0, if I'm not mistaken.
We're the only ones who haven't played them at Villa Park yet.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
beat
yeah.
them
I'm
3-0
talking
last
about
year.
at Villa Park.
I know Newcastle done them in the other week 3-1.
Oh,
So
but
Yeah,
Villa
they're going through a
has
weird
dropped
period for Aston
massively.
Villa.
Villa have dropped massively for some reason. However, Emery yesterday coached.
it-
Emery
it's the
coached
problems.
yesterday a 4-0 game or a 4-1
Yes,
game.
but Emery could coach a 7-0 game, but he doesn't have 7-0 players. That's always going to be Aston Villa's issue. As good as people believe Ollie Watkins is, he is not a striker who can sustain a title challenge. As good as Douglas Luiz might be in people's eyes, he's not a midfielder who can start week in, week out for a title winner. Aston Villa were performing above where they should have been. And now it's averaging out. Hence why they're still playing well, per se, but they're not scoring as much. They're not being as clinical. It's how it goes, unfortunately. They'll be all right this season. They'll get 5th, probably. But the idea that they were going to be in and around the title challenge, it was never going to happen because they don't have the players for it.
Do you believe Man United can get top 4, though?
Yes.
Top
No.
4?
Oh, no.
No.
Sorry, I misheard.
No.
This is 5.
So no chance Man United can get top 4.
They're not better.
I
They're
think
not
Spurs
gonna
get
perform
4th.
better. They're not going to perform better than us, City, Arsenal, and Tottenham to end the year. So they're not going to get it.
I'd be
They
amazed
are
if they did better.
You guys know they are 6 points behind Spurs.
Yep.
Sure, but I'm sure Villa are near there as well, but I still don't think Villa will get there. Mathematically, they can do it, but mathematically, last season at points, they were in a title race, but we all knew they weren't really.
Like, you just got to watch them and then you'll know. I mean, if I look at Tottenham are only in the position. I mean, United are 6th right now, so United need 5 points to even overtake Villa for 1.
Yes.
But Tottenham, now that they've gotten over the majority of their injury problems, they will find a better vein of form again. Arsenal, they're not catching us, Arsenal or City, so it's just Tottenham, and Tottenham are going to be better than Manchester United, and they still have to go to White Hart Lane this year. Oh no, they don't. They actually played there, haven't they? And they lost. So United, what big games do United got? They got to go to the Etihad.
They do.
They got to go no, they've been the Emps already. Arsenal have to go to Old Trafford. We've got to go Old Trafford. Have they played at Villa Park yesterday? They've lost at St James's Park already. I don't know if they've played Newcastle at home yet. But United still have a lot of games coming up. I just don't think. I think what's United's issue is they have lost too many games, and they might find a better run of form, but they are not going to get top 4. They might get 5th, and then with coefficients that might get them Champions League, but it's not going to be enough.
Yeah.
And that early season where they were just so inconsistent, that's what's going to cost them, because they might be better now, but there's still going to be runs with this United team where they lose 3 or 4 out of 5. That's just how it goes.
I'm not sure if United can get top 4, to be honest. I'm looking at their fixtures and I don't see. But however, United are the kings of this 1-0 2-1 scoreline. You know what I mean? I think because the next 3 games before the Man City game are winnable games. Fulham at home, Luton away, Forest away. You know they can win these.
Luton away is a tough. Luton away.
It's a tough game, but you know Man United can win this game.
Luton away is a perennial United drop points game. A perennial United drop points game. It screams like 1-1.
I guess we'll see. Listen, I want to move on a little bit to the title race. Liverpool, Man City, and Arsenal. Arsenal yesterday won 6-0. And I have in the title, are Liverpool and Man City worried? What I mean by that, a lot of people said that Arsenal are out of it after they lost 6 points. Do we believe they're back in it with force? Do you believe they put themselves in a place where they can actually win the title? The reason why I'm saying this, I don't see them dropping points until they go to the Etihad. And during that time, Man City will go to Anfield. So one of the 2 teams will drop points, or both. And it's in Arsenal's hand now. Arsenal win against West Ham is something that we haven't seen before. We haven't seen last year. We haven't seen this year from Liverpool, City, or Arsenal. Nobody goes to the West Ham ground and wins 6-0, making them look so mediocre. That's just an honest answer. Nobody has done that. Nobody did it last year. Nobody did it this year. And I don't think anybody will do it again. Even though West Ham is having a bad patch, we saw the Arsenal might win 3-1. That was my prediction. Are you guys worried a little bit about Arsenal late charge before they face Man City? That they will put themselves on a chance to go to that game and putting themselves on a chance to win to actually win the Premier League. I'm not saying they're gonna win it, but I think that, to be honest, they put themselves. Nobody expected them to have these different 4 games.
I'm not worried in terms of like they're back in the title race because I never thought they were out of it. To be fair, it was a very impressive victory, obviously, and I think they now have like the same goal difference as City,
Yes.
which is relevant because 75% of Premier League winners have had the best goal difference in the league. So goal difference is relevant. Goal difference
all right, up the Joe. Come on, just give me the basics.
Goal difference. All I'm saying is goal difference does strongly correlate to winning the Premier League because it's obviously a good demonstration of being good at scoring goals and not conceding them. I do still think that if I'm like comparing it to my team, for example, I do still think there is a gap between the two in respect of ceiling. I think that Arsenal has less, game breakers in their team, which we've discussed many times. That they're tactically very sound and they have some very good players, obviously, but there is no Kevin De Bruyne equivalent or Erling Haaland equivalent, and I just think that over the course of the season, when you're against a team like, as I say, against a team like City who has those things, in addition to being very well coached, etc., it makes it very hard to challenge them because in those inevitable games where you're necessarily not playing that well, that's, as I'm sure we'll discuss City later, that's what City were doing, and then they looked at Erling Haaland, their game breaker, and he was the difference maker. I don't think there is a player like that at Arsenal. We've touched on the world-class debate before. In my opinion, they don't have any world-class players because my bar is very high. So I still think that Arsenal will finish second, but I don't think that they will. Then they'll finish first. And that's through no real fault of their own, except that, again, the reason I think they'll finish second is because I think City will finish first. If that makes sense.
Arsenal are very effective at the minute. They've got set pieces down to a fucking T. They know exactly how to score off set pieces, which is a threat for anyone because if it's consistent, which is the problem. This point in the season wasn't the issue with Arsenal last year. It was the next couple months. And when you factor in this Champions League on top of that as well, which is going to be a lot of pressure for them to succeed in, that's when I'll be eagerly watching. It's a very good performance from them yesterday. They absolutely battered West Ham. If Areola wasn't in goal, it'd be like 7 or 8. I know he pulled off a couple of absolute worldy saves. Very well played by Arsenal. But this isn't this point in time in the season is not where I'm going to go, yes, they're there, because this wasn't where it went wrong for them in the past. It's always in a couple games' time. It's always, they play City away on the 31st of March, is it?
I don't know when, but yeah, they do play us away.
But before that is Chelsea at home. I know that the next game is Newcastle, isn't it? They've got some tough games coming up. They are in some very good form. They are in there with a shout. But in terms of me changing my mind, no, because they've not proven why my doubts wrong yet, because my doubts don't set in from February. That's not when the time. That's not when the title race starts. The title race doesn't start in February with 14 games to go.
Okay, I said that many times over the past couple of days. In the last 4 games, Arsenal won against 4 different types of teams: Forest, Palace, Liverpool, and West Ham. They have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games before they go to the Etihad. If they win these 5 games, and it's more likely than not, looking at how they played the last 5 games, the last 4 games, they will win the games. I will be surprised if they drop points. Just because they won these 4 games, again, as I said, Forest is different than Liverpool, is different than West Ham away, different than Palace at home. I don't see them dropping points against Newcastle. The only 2 teams that I think Arsenal can drop points against are Chelsea and Newcastle, and they are both at home. And Arsenal have been impressive at home. The Chelsea are not gonna sit back against Arsenal, so I think Arsenal will open them up. Newcastle are the same, and Newcastle haven't been consistent this season. If Arsenal win all these games, they can go to the City game equal or above one of the two teams, City or Liverpool, and it's then in their hands. In this season, Liverpool went to the Etihad and were able to get a point. Crystal Palace went to the Etihad and were able to get a point. Arsenal defense have been absolutely impressive. I'm not saying that Arsenal will go to the Etihad favorites, because I believe no team in the world can go to the Etihad and City aren't favorites. Any team that goes to play them at the Etihad, City are favorites. However, City's defense have been leaking goals. Every game, the majority of the games, they concede chances. Pep Guardiola is still trying to figure out the right players in the right places. Kevin De Bruyne last game, like the set pieces, Erling Haaland, they have that X factor, as Nobbins is saying, in them. But Arsenal also have been this season known to stop oppositions from creating chances, from actually making it happen for them, creating the chances. So I'm going to say, if I used to give Arsenal 0 chances at the Etihad to get a result, I will give them a good percentage for them to go to the Etihad and get a result. And I explained why. And if they go there and get a result, I still think that Liverpool have a favorable run-in at the end. But what Arsenal did beating Liverpool and beating West Ham away is that they put themselves in a place where they can say, listen, we are good now to go and try to get it. That's it. That's how I'm thinking about this title race. Liverpool have the easier fixture run from here until the end of the season. Then it's Arsenal because they go to the Etihad. Yes, you do. And then
I don't know. I need to have a look.
I looked at all of them. The difference is Man City go to Anfield, tough game, and Arsenal go to the Etihad. So I'm looking at these two games. Man City go to Spurs, Arsenal go to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Spurs go to Liverpool. Yes, Man United, they go to the Etihad, and Liverpool will go to the Old Trafford. But I believe, I'm looking at them and I'm thinking, yes, the running are equivalent or equal. Liverpool have a little bit.
We all have our tough get. Like, we've got Villa away, second last game of the season. They've had a very good home record this year. We've got Everton away.
Not when Man United beat them like this. I think by that time. Okay, so I'm going to tell you what I mean.
United weren't very good though yesterday, though.
Yes. Yes, I get you.
Onana had an absolute. I forgot to mention. Onana had the best game in the United shirt.
My point is, by that time, Villa will be 4th or 5th. I don't think it will matter. I think by that time, Aston Villa, it won't matter for them. You play in Aston Villa away at that time, I don't think it will matter. They will be 5th, and I don't think it will matter for them at all.
Well, at that time, if they're in 5th, they could be in a top 4 battle. Then
no, I don't think there will be a separation between them and Spurs at that time. I genuinely believe that.
But 5th is Champions League.
But that's what I mean. I believe they will be 5th with a separation between 6th.
No. So you think United won't get 5th?
No.
Or they won't be in the battle for 5th?
No.
Okay.
There will be more than 3 points difference by that time. Like 4 or 5 points difference.
That's the thing then, because I was on the base that United might be in and around that battle. If they're in and around that battle,
because United. I think United at that time will be losing to at the Etihad. I think United will be out of the top 5 race by that time.
Our biggest thing is, can we just get over these injuries that we've got? Can we get a more of the squad back, and then we should be all right? I think Arsenal. I'm intrigued.
Who's more likely to fade away? That's the question. In your opinion, guys, who's more likely to fade away? Who's more likely at game week 35 will be out of the conversation?
It's either us or Arsenal. It depends. Us will be down to injuries. I.e., Trent, he's injured again now. If he's out for another 2 months or something, then that's going to add up on legs and stuff. With Arsenal, it'll be they struggle to handle both the Champions League and the Premier League at the same time. Now, I'm not saying they won't handle it. I'm just saying we've never seen them do it before. They are the unknown commodity at this point. Can they handle a tougher? Because I'm looking at it now. Arsenal have Porto away on the 21st of February, which could be a tough game. It could be a tough game, and then 3 days later, they've got Newcastle at home. Newcastle will have had a week off at that point, and Newcastle will just go to the Emirates to annoy them and to add it up. I'm not saying Arsenal will fall away, but because they've not done it before, I don't know. That is the way I'm looking at it. City are the one which you gone. I have no idea how they're going to fall away because Kevin De Bruyne is flying, absolutely flying, which is so annoying. So annoying. Haaland's back scoring goals. It's very hard to find City's one. With us, it's just we've lost an entire right-hand side at the same point in the season, but they're starting to come back now. Hopefully they don't get injured again. Beyond that, I don't think there's many issues mentality-wise with their, in terms of turning up whilst these players are being out. We've been there for the most time. I know Arsenal was a bad one, but we've won every other game, which is good. So it's going to be a tight one. Arsenal are the one which I just don't know about yet because of the Champions League. If they prove that they can handle Champions League and Premier League at the same time, they're a very dangerous thing because the momentum the Champions League gives you is massive. But we don't know yet. So
let me do these couple of super chats. Prize here is saying we have a good chance. He's a Liverpool supporter. We have a good chance to win the EPL this season, in my opinion. It's a 50-50 with City. He isn't given a chance to Arsenal at all. Whoever wins all the remaining games win the Premier League. Easy as it is. I believe all teams will drop points.
Neither of us are going to win all their games.
No one's going to have a perfect record from now to the end of the season. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, I think Nobbins can agree as well. When they went on a 14-game winning run and when we went on a 13-game winning run, both our teams aren't as good as that point.
Yeah. The quality difference is pretty big compared to 4 or 5 years ago.
Like the standards that were set at that point in time are ridiculous, and it can't be expected that happens all the time because it's not going to.
Yeah, Akil here is saying the only thing that can hurt Liverpool is fitness. No, I disagree with that. Liverpool play Europa League. They can actually rest until they reach a semi-final or something like this. They can rest the players.
Well, ideally, but if we get like a Leverkusen or something, then we're a bit sort of.
If we get Leverkusen, guys, over 300.
There's some decent size in it this year. I didn't realize how many, because of this new round of 32 they have, where the Champions League plays second place. You end up with a decent little competition from the round of 16 onwards. There's still some crap teams in there, obviously, but the standard of quality is a bit higher than it used to be. So
you'll always get crap teams in the.
Yeah, obviously, but the standard's a little bit higher than it used to be, which is interesting.
Guys, there's over 350 of you here, and we aren't even on a 200 likes. Guys, the like button is underneath your live chat. It's the only way we're going to grow this channel, get more subscribers. So hit that like button, people, underneath your live chat. And I want, by the time Nobbins finishes answer, I want everyone in the chat to let me know, who do you think is going to fade away? I'm not asking you who do you think is going to win the title. Who do you think is going to fade away from this title race? I want one name: Arsenal, Liverpool, or Man City. I don't think anybody's going to type Man City. But who do you think by game week 35 will be out of the picture? Just one name, one answer. Nobbins, how do you view this Arsenal thing and Liverpool, and who do you think should worry you more?
See, I think that, and again, this is something I've maintained since the start of the season, I think it's going to be really close. Like, people, when I keep saying City will win the league, people go, oh, you're so arrogant. I think the difference between first and second is only going to be like 2 points, maybe 3. And the difference between first and third will only be like 3 points, maybe 4. So I think that it will go down to game week 37 at the absolute minimum between those 3 teams. So technically, in terms of fading away, I would say that the team who I think will finish third will fade away, but I do actually think it's going to be very close up until the penultimate match week and obviously the final match week. I just back City to win it based on the reasons that I've given, that, we have underperformed this season, absolutely. But I think actually against Everton, that was the first time that we've played that back four since the Inter Milan game. That's how that's how many defensive issues and we've had this season. Stones, if Stones hasn't been out, then Akanji's been out, and vice versa. So you'd like to think so. That super chat before just talked about fitness issues. Assuming all teams stay relatively fit from now until the end of the season, I would personally back City to win because I think that City have the better players. If they don't win, it's a big underperformance from Pep and from the players, obviously. But I've got no reason to think outside of fitness issues that City won't win.
What about the defense of
I just hate Kevin De Bruyne. Honestly, I hate him. He's just so inevitable. It's so grinding to go up against. I thought he was going to take a bit of time to get back to himself from the injury.
No.
Just comes on and changes to get... Because you were struggling a little bit against it. Not struggling in terms of, they've got you under pressure, but you just couldn't get anything going. And I think you only had 3 shots on target. You only had like 3 shots on target all game, and they came when KDB was on the pitch. Because he just... And it was the goal. It was the build up for the first goal. I know it came from a corner in the end, but KDB just gets the ball in this half space, turns and drives, and gets past about 3 people and plays a stunning ball through to Foden, who then forces a block, and then it goes from there. But KDB just obviously gets the assist for the second one as well because that's what KDB does. Sure, he's a lovely bloke, but I hate going up against him in title races. Honestly, I hate it because there's nothing you can do about it. I will always go back to the 21-22 season, the game I had earmarked out for a game where City could drop points. Wolves away. Tough place to go, Molineux. And he goes and bags 4 on his left. I don't think he scored a single one on his right, all on his left. I was sitting there watching going, what are we supposed to do, man? Why can't we have a Kevin? And then you add to the fact that Hojlund now, he's getting back up to speed. I mean, even yesterday, Saturday, your midfield, yes, you had your probably best defence back, but KDB didn't start and Bernardo didn't start. And Doku, I think, Doku's doing the thing that I expected Doku to do, which is be very good one-on-one and then struggle to pick the correct options at times with his final ball, which will come in time because he's still young. But I think that was an issue that was always going to happen with him. But it's still a threat.
Can I ask you a question?
I had to watch Jeremy Doku up against Coleman and Ashley Young at one point. I was sitting there going, "What's going on here?"
Can I ask you a question, Tom? Why did you say that Arsenal have a tough game against Chelsea when they play at home, and you don't think Man City against Chelsea at home will be tough?
Because one's a London derby.
Just because it's a derby, not because Chelsea.
Yeah, because in the same way that us playing Everton is harder for us than it is for an Arsenal or a City, because the derby and the meaning behind it and the extra pressure on the game. That's the same way that I know United are a good team anyway, but United up against City is probably more, pressure on City compared to most of the teams in the league because it's a derby. Derbies always carry this extra weight. Derbies always are more of a banana skin. And that's something I'll always say. The issue with Arsenal is there's just so many fucking London derbies. They've got one every other week at this point. But Chelsea and Tottenham are the perennial London derbies. They're the ones that are interested. But have Arsenal played Tottenham?
They're going to play them away. They're going to play Tottenham away.
Right. That'll be an interesting one to look at. Because Tottenham,
same as Man City going to Spurs, to be honest. It's going to be interesting, to be honest.
I'm just glad Spurs have to come. I can't be bothered going to Tottenham Stadium. Just expect VAR to go against you, man. You can score a perfectly good goal and they'll rule it out. Disgraceful.
Jack here is saying City and Arsenal have harder games now than Liverpool for season. I actually believe, I believe Liverpool have the easier run in.
I think it's a tough one. Isn't it? It's hard to say because we don't know how it's going to look, but we do have some tough ones in there. Because we've got to go Goodison, which is going to be horrendous. Because Everton might go down this year, but if they can ruin Jurgen Klopp's farewell, if they can ruin, they would happily go down if they could take points off us in Jurgen Klopp's farewell. So I have no doubt in my mind about that. No doubt in my mind about that. Goodison,
do we believe Europa League plays a bit? Is it a positive or negative for Liverpool that Europa League is there? Is it better to be in Europa League or Champions League?
It's better to be in the Champions League for sure, but I don't think the Europa League, because everyone's just been saying to me this year, 30 Sunday. I'm sitting there going, it's the exact same as Wednesday, Saturday. Time-wise, it's the exact same. And at this point in the tournament, you're not going to the back half of Azerbaijan. You're going to Germany. You're going to Spain. So it's practically the same thing, but it's lower quality. So we could afford to rotate more. It can only be a positive for us because we are a momentum side, and we've always performed better when we have lots of games to play. But it's just if we can get over these couple humps coming up. But the good thing is we won't need to play Van Dijk every single game. If we draw, let's say, I don't even know who's in it, but let's say like let's just say a Rangers were in the competition. I don't think they are, but let's just say Rangers were there, for example. If we drew a team of like a Rangers ilk, we could play Quansah, we could play, probably Gravenberch, even though he's cut man. We could play, Gakpo. We could play Tsimikas. We could rotate heavily and keep, a lot of the key starters there. Whereas in the Champions League, you can't exactly go Bernabeu and say, William, mate, we need you.
Yeah, but they aren't going to Bernabeu. They're going Copenhagen, and then after this, they're going to face.
Respect the mighty Copenhagen. They knocked out Man United.
The easiest team after this in the draw.
I was more so on about.
We know what is happening.
I was more so on about Arsenal because City, they're not the unknown quantity. They've done it now. Up with Arsenal, it's can they? They already say that they've got a small squad with injury problems anyway, which I think is true to a certain extent. Will that squad be able to handle what should be 2 games a week in the running, in the most high-pressure moments of the season? If they can, then I was wrong.
Hold on, you believe that Arsenal will go far in the Champions League?
I believe they should do.
Depends on the draw. Depends who they get in the quarters or next round.
You already assume that they're going past Porto.
Well, they should do.
If I look at the teams left in the competition, the only teams that I think are outright better than Arsenal in terms of player for player is City and Real Madrid.
All right, then.
Bayern are close, but their manager, they struggled this year, and Tuchel hasn't managed them properly. And Harry Kane's going to move to Bayern to win a trophy and lose every trophy again.
So he gets for playing like Pirlo. We had this discussion, Mo. You said how many goals we score at City. There's your answer, bro. He's playing defensive midfield.
Did you see his Did you see his average position? Mo?
Yeah. What is my man doing? You are not that guy. You are not a DLP. Stop it. Get in the box.
He was in line with Kim Min-jae. Like it's so weird. Mental. And this is why I'll always say Haaland was the better fit, because Haaland enabled City to maintain pressure in a different way.
Big.
Although I do still think at times you misuse him. I just think at some times he just needs to sort of swallow the pride and pump a bunch of long balls in behind, because as we saw against Everton, when he's in a one-on-one with any defender in the world, bar maybe Van Dijk, the defender ends up on the floor and Haaland ends up in a one-on-one. And that is the most dangerous situation to be in. So, going back to it though, Arsenal should be the 3rd best team in that competition, so I should expect them to reach, by logic, the semi-finals.
I disagree, but fine.
It depends on the draw, doesn't it?
You're going to put into there, aren't you? So maybe 4th.
100%.
Maybe 4th best team.
So here's the problem. Here's the problem with Arsenal in the Champions League. It's not about the quality of players, because they have very good quality of players. It's about the experience. Nobbins will tell you, right? Nobbins will tell you.
Will I?
In this competition, it's about moments, and moments come with experience. How to handle a moment.
Why am I not allowed to talk about it? My team's won it 6 times. Just because I'm in the Europa League this year, I'm not allowed to talk about the moments.
No, you're not. You've been relegated. Wow. You're now the resident Europa League expert.
We're talking about the Champions League. We're talking about the Champions League.
Yeah, the big boy's talking.
Yeah. So we're talking about the Champions League. In the Champions League, when we talk about the Champions League, you only allow the people that are in the Champions League. So
that's outrageous.
Oh, you're terrible, Mo.
Yeah.
I think an old moments mean.
Tom. The treble winners are talking. We
won a treble as well. We won a treble as well.
You won a treble. We won the treble.
Yeah, and United won a treble as well under Jose.
United won the treble. Inter won the treble.
But
Man City won the treble. You won a treble.
Yeah.
You can win a quadruple this year.
But this is my thing. Let's say we were to win all the trophies this year. Let's say we were to win the league.
You think that's better than a treble?
No, that wasn't any. I was going to say, if we win all them, so you win the League Cup, the FA Cup, the Premier League, and the Europa League, because no team has ever done the quadruple, technically speaking, R1 is the quadruple because it is the standard that's been set. And then when someone does it, no.
We won the domestic quadruple in 1819. It's called the domestic quadruple, though.
So it is a quadruple.
You have to call it the Europa quadruple or something.
What's
you can't call it the
quadruple? I'm sorry.
You're trying to count the Charity Shield there. That doesn't count.
Why not?
What is a domestic quadruple?
Community Shield, League Cup, FA Cup, Premier League.
Community Shield isn't a trophy; it's a friendly game.
Is the Italian Super Cup not a trophy?
No, I'm going to tell you the difference.
Right,
okay. When you have a competition that is the rules of UEFA and FIFA and the rules of football are different for that competition, okay, that means the association don't treat it as a main competition. Why I'm saying that?
But the FA and FIFA have both said it is a trophy.
Can I explain to you then?
I'm just
gonna give you an example.
Just let me finish. Just one more sentence. If you want to disagree with the FA and FIFA, you go for it, Mo.
Yeah, I do. Okay, let me explain to you what I mean.
Okay. Sure.
And I'm gonna use logic. The Community Shield, when everyone around the world, when there's only 3 subs allowed for every official game around the world, every official game. Wait, Tom, wait. Every official game around the world before COVID, for the majority of the time, when they changed the rules from 2 subs to 3 subs, the Community Shield is the only game, right, that is allowed 5 subs.
Right.
So that means...
So just to confirm that this substitution rule trumps the FA and FIFA's... the FA and UEFA's conclusion that it is a trophy. I'm gonna explain to you. I'm gonna give you to actually explain my point. I have to give you another example. If there is a game around the world that is, if you concede 5 free kicks, you concede a penalty, and that's completely different from the rules of the FIFA. Would you consider that equal to all the games around the world in the top leagues? Does that make sense to like, if I change the rule about a competition, that means it's not plain level fields. It's not plain level fields. The Community Shield was allowed.
The Champions League has different rules to the Premier League, and it had different rules because you were always allowed.
In terms of what?
You were always allowed more subs in the Champions League than you were in the Premier League.
At that time, it was because COVID and the Premier League refused.
No, I'm not on about how many subs you can bring on. I'm on about how many subs you could name. You used to only be able to name 7 subs in the Premier League. You could name 9.
I don't think that's I don't think that changes it. But for me, to be honest, for you to be allowed 5 subs versus 2, and all the teams were treated. Okay, guys, whatever. Okay, you know what? In my opinion, everyone and in England didn't treat the Community Shield as a main trophy. Simple. I don't know what you guys talking about.
I don't know what you mean by main trophy, but it is a trophy. Yeah, it's official. It's an official trophy. It's an official Super Cup in the same way that the Italian Super Cup is.
I will always hold domestic Super Cups to a lower standard because you can qualify for what is the Super Cup by winning nothing.
I actually don't consider the Italian Super Cup. Nobody actually cares about the Italian Super Cup. It used to be.
It's not about whether you care about it. Look, it is the most insignificant one, but it is still nevertheless a trophy for sure.
I don't know how many times you won that, but if you want to consider the Community Shield, that is called a Charity Shield, a trophy, it's up to you.
But
I don't think we should waste time to.
I'll just the name of the competition is not the best thing, considering the Carabao Cup has changed its name about 8 times in my lifetime.
If it was called the English Super Cup, I don't think anyone would care. Also, the fact that Wayne, I don't know how many goals Wayne Rooney got for Man United. Maybe someone in the chat can tell me. But he scored 1 in the Community Shield, and that counts towards his overall statistics. So the statistic setters constitute it as an actual competition, and as does FIFA, and as does the FA, and as does UEFA.
This is all come from me trying to say we might win a quad this year, so I apologise, people.
Yeah, that's what you get, Tom, for setting Mo off the fraud that he is. I did a video on whether the Community Shield is a major trophy, by the way, so I know what I'm talking about here. FYI.
Oh, look at the shameless. How
so
has he
do
managed
not
to plug himself in there?
try to chat to me, yeah?
I can't even remember what we were on about before. I think it was Europa League, weren't it? Oh, you don't know.
Yeah, and your fraudulent quadruple.
It's the big boys talking about the Europa League now and the big boy competitions because the best team in the world is in the Europa League and Bayer Leverkusen. But yeah, the Champions League is always going to be better for a side to be in than the Europa League because it carries more momentum when you win. I think Nobbins can attest as well. Even I know they won a treble last year, but when you go far in the Champions League, it normally benefits you in the league because your players perform at a higher level.
Yeah, I don't agree with people like, oh, now we can concentrate on the league. No. Players want matches. Players want momentum. So it's a total myth that getting knocked out of the biggest competitions helps your domestic campaign.
It's why the whole bigger fish to fry thing has never sat with me. Because it just doesn't work. It doesn't work in any shape, way, or form. I can't remember the last side who deliberately threw away competitions, and it worked for them. Like I'm trying to think with us. The year we won the league, we were actually that was the first real year we competed on all fronts, and we had the fucking Club World Cup thing which happened. Got knocked out by Chelsea, and then we were the unlucky ones in the Champions League who were the only ones to play their second leg fixtures before everything got stopped because of COVID. If we'd have just played a day later, we would have had a second leg against Atletico Madrid, which we could have won. Who knows? But yeah, when we've been successful, it has been because we've competed on multiple fronts. Because momentum is the most
players
important.
get tired though.
You don't feel tired when you're winning. You don't feel tired when you're winning.
You do, but fine.
You don't. You certainly don't feel as tired when you're winning as you do when you're losing. You just want to get into the next game.
Signs say otherwise, but fine. Medical team says otherwise. But
physically, your body might be sad, but it's all about the mental side of things in these run-ins.
Like,
and can you rotate properly? And
yeah, rotation is key here. All the managers have to rotate, to be honest. But so before we go, I want to speak about Liverpool. Arsenal women are the only team to win a quad. Thomas Fellows, good to know. Thank you, Thomas, to win a quad. Okay, thank you. No, City won a quad.
We won the quintuple this year.
Yes.
Sorry, last year.
So did you win 5 trophies or did you just win? Because I don't like it when people try and say, "Oh, well, we won 5 trophies." No, you won 3 one year and 2 the next.
What did Barcelona achieve in 2009?
2 trebles.
The
treble in 1 year.
Everyone calls it the sextuple.
This is how it works.
A treble in 1 year and a treble in the next.
Everyone calls it the Barcelona sextuple, in the same way that everyone calls Bayern Munich's 2020 campaign the sextuple.
I don't call it that. It was 2 trebles.
Shut up, man. Everyone calls it the sextuple. I've never heard anyone say, "Oh yeah, Barcelona won 2 trebles in 2009."
That's like me trying to claim that when we won it, we done the treble. We done a treble in 2019 when we won the Champions League, the Super Cup, and the Club World Cup. No, we won the Champions League. And then
let's not be silly. We all know the starting point for the treble is your league, your biggest domestic cup competition, and the Champions League. That's the starting point, isn't it?
But we've established that my standards for a treble are a lot lower. So
we've established that you're a fraudster and a charlatan and have no place on this panel.
I don't believe. Me personally, I will never call something unless you could do. So a sextuple for me is winning in theory the Community Shield, the Super Cup. In fact, you could do 7 trophies: the Community Shield, the Super Cup, the Club World Cup, the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, the Champions League, and the Premier League. That's a septuple or whatever it's called. Not 1 year we won the Premier League and the Champions League and the FA Cup, and then the year after we won the Super Cup, and then
it's the same calendar year.
Can I explain to you?
But it's not a season. It's not a septuple season.
Tom, simply. The Community Shield is the start of the season before, so it counts towards the season before. You qualify for it by winning the season before. So if you win your league, right, you win your Champions League and you win your main cup. The reason why they say the main cup, because Italy has 1 cup, Germany has 1 cup, Spain has 1 cup, France has 2 now. So they want to have a plain level field, like playing level, like whatever you say that, how you say that. And then the Super Cup or the Charity Shield, you qualify for them by winning the Champions League or you win your league,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then the Club World Cup, you qualify for it by winning the Champions League. So all of these trophies are within one season. They're all dependent on each other.
Then
Right?
they're not though, because I
And by the way,
then
I'm not saying this from my head, by the way. This is just
no,
how,
but then
how
but
people
your logic was you can only qualify for these trophies by winning your league. That's not true with the Community Shield. You can come second in the Community Shield and still qualify
But that's
for it.
why you can never. Okay, but that's why you can never win a triple to start that run unless you win your league.
But you can. You just have to do it the season before, and then you can have a acceptable season. You don't have. I don't agree with putting trophies that you've won
I'm
2
not
seasons
getting
apart
this.
in the same
I'm not getting-
in the same boat.
You can do whatever you want, Tom. That doesn't make it.
Because it's not the same. It's not. It's probably not the same squad either. Someone who won the Champions League might not be part of the team that won the Club World Cup, so does he not count as winning the septuple?
I thought the Barcelona sextuple in 2009 was pretty cut and dry. The fact Tom's been able to find an ambiguity in it is amazing to me. I've never heard this before.
Me
ever.
too. Never.
Same with
ever
Bayern in
heard
2020. I've never heard this before.
They had a septuple year. They didn't have a septuple season.
Oh, it's changed now. The goalposts have changed now.
No, but I don't class football in years. I don't go, oh, the year of 2019 was good. No, I go, it was a good season. Because we don't do football is not a year thing. It goes.
It has been for some. It has been. It was for the Ballon d'Or for most of its lifetime. To be fair.
Oh yeah, that Wash Trophy. Yeah, I don't count that. That is just a popularity contest. It's the Eurovision of football. Doesn't matter who was actually the best. It's just who looks nice.
I think we've established here is that Tom's
when
a fraud.
When Erling Haaland's not winning it last year, or Rodri's not winning it last year, you want me to hold it to a modicum of respect?
I wanna go to this right before that. In my prize saying, in my opinion, there's only 2 major trophies: UEFA Champions League and the league. That's me as well.
The FA Cup's a major
for me
trophy.
as well. I'm not going into this discussion again, please. Last time I got into this discussion. Yes, fine. It is considered as a major trophy. So as Italian Cup. So as in my opinion,
the main domestic cup in every league is what is classed as a major trophy in that league. The
it
issue
is.
with us,
Listen, the word major trophy now is there an official word for a major trophy, or is it subjective to everyone's opinion?
There's only one official definition of major trophy, and that is by an article by UEFA, from which you can infer the definition of major trophy, because whoever wrote that article said Spurs, it was when Spurs got to the Champions League final, and the article said something along the lines of Spurs have the chance to join these clubs and to be one of the only teams to win the 3 major UEFA competitions, those being the Cup Winners' Cup, the UEFA Cup slash Europa League, and the Champions League. So, by inference, UEFA, or whoever published that UEFA article, is saying that those 3 trophies are major trophies. But that's the only instance where an official governing body has used the term major trophy this year.
We get another major trophy this year in the Europa League. I always
apart from that, no one's ever commented on it now. I've researched this point. No one has.
I just look at the major trophies argument and go.
So it's subjective, basically.
If you've got to play a fair amount of games, you've got to play against top teams. It's a major trophy. Anyone would want to win a trophy. So in Germany, the Bundesliga and the DFB Pokal are major trophies. I don't. In Italy, it's the Serie A.
That's not my opinion, but fine.
But do you not think the DFB Pokal is not? Do you think the DFB
I don't. Okay, so here's the problem. The cups in all the countries, the majority of the countries, aren't considered a measuring stick for how big you are in the country. The only thing that is considered is how many Champions Leagues, not even Europa Leagues, and how many league titles you won. And I explained this the other day.
That's just in stupid arguments on.
Okay, fine. Listen, you can call it stupid. I'm just telling you how it is. In Spain, Barcelona never go to Real Madrid and say, I won these many cups. Nobody says that. They only talk about the league and the Champions Leagues. I'm telling you how it works. I'm telling you, if you're going to sit, let me explain to you something. If Man City sit with a Barcelona representative, right? Or an Atletico Madrid representative. If I get Nobbins in a debate about who won more major honors, who's a bigger club in terms of who's more successful, none of them will be able to say, but I won more Carabao Cup or FA Cup, or the Atletico Madrid guy or the Barcelona guy will say, but I won these cups. None of them, because you cannot sit with Sevilla and Sevilla say, but I won 5 Europa Leagues. it's gonna be I won a treble, I won leagues, and I won Champions League. Stop me if I'm wrong. Do you think that's how the conversation is gonna go, or do you think the conversation is gonna be I won Coppa Italia this many times, and I won Europa League this many times? I'm talking about for big teams. How do you think the conversation will go?
No, but that's just a dick measuring contest. I don't care about the dick measuring contest. I'm on about when a club looks at themselves, and when you look at leagues and stuff in general, they are the domestic cup in each country is a major competition. If it wasn't a major competition, why the fuck are they not playing the kids? If it's not that important, why
there's some? See, you don't put words in my mouth.
I'm not saying you did.
I'm not saying it's not important. I'm not saying. However, my point is, it is not important from a country to a country. And I explained this to Martin, and he got upset the other day because he thought I'm disrespecting the FA Cup. In the modern age, in recent times, because we are comparing clubs across Europe with each other, we aren't only comparing English clubs to English club, which happens. We gotta have all the same scale to look at. And in Italy, for example, the cup isn't taken seriously. In Spain, I don't think the cup was taken seriously as much.
I've always thought the Copa del Rey was taken quite seriously.
It's a historical competition, but clubs used to rotate in it.
Well, yeah, but that's the same with but there's respect for that competition because it's a historical major competition in Spain.
Which is respect is different than when we debate. How do we measure who's more successful? When we debate, right, is different than historical. The FA Cup is the most prestigious competition around the world. Why? For one reason, it's the oldest football competition around the world. Simple, right or wrong? It's that.
Yeah.
It's that. But do you think I'm just gonna explain. For me, always to put things into context, I have to give you an example that is an extreme. If a team won the cup 20 times in England, 20 times, and won 2 league titles, and won no Champions Leagues, won the cup 20 times, can they go, for example, against a team in Spain and tell them, a team in Spain that won the league only 10 times and didn't win the cup at all and won 1 Champions League, and tell them I'm more successful than you? Are they even comparable to you? Can we put them in the same bracket in terms of like, this is a big club, this is a big club? If a team in England won 20 cups and won 2 league titles, can they be compared to a team that won no cups and 10 league titles, or 7 or 8? I don't have to be 10. 8 league titles versus 2, 20 cups versus 0. Who do you think is the team that is more successful? Your opinion, by the way. It's your opinion.
If we're going by a team in England, so I'm assuming they've won the FA Cup 20 times and the league twice. I'm saying, just for example, the Spanish team has won the Spanish league 7 times.
No, I'm giving you in England. See, in England. And I'm going to everyone in the chat. I'm going to give you option A. Let me ask the question. Let me ask the question so the chat can answer. I'm going to give you option A or option B, just one letter, right? Option A, a team won the league 8 times and won 2 cups. Option B, a team that won the cup 20 times and won 2 league titles. Which one do you think is bigger, A or B?
A, because they've won 22 trophies and they've won the FA Cup a record amount of times with 20 times winning it would be mental. That would carry its own weight.
Nobbins, can you chime in? You get what I'm
one might have more league sort of thing. The other one might have more league pedigree, but to just say, 20 FA Cups is just a bit sort of irrelevant. That's mental. That is mental to me. I don't know. I can't speak for Italy, but I don't know in Germany if the.
I'm asking in England even. How would you measure which team is bigger if a team won 8 league titles versus 2 and one won 20 cups and the other one won 2? Who do you think is considered the most successful team in the history?
Oh, it's an impossible question, isn't it? Because you'd have to give the FA Cup a weighting compared to a league title, and
exactly, that's the thing.
We can't do that.
It's all about the weight. It's all about how do you weight the Champions League and the weight of the league versus the weight of the cup. I'm not saying the cup is bad. The cup is a competition that everybody likes. I like to win the cup in Italy every year.
Hmm.
But I would rather win 1 league title over a span of 5 years than 4 cups, for example.
I'd
Or
rather
5
win.
cups.
I'd rather win 2 league titles and 3 cups than 3 titles.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. But you haven't answered the question. Option A or option B, Nobbins?
Well, in your very extreme example, I'd probably want the one with more league titles. But I could give an equally extreme example where
Yes.
I give only a slight difference of league titles, but a trillion FA Cups. And
Yes,
it's like
okay. So that's different. Yes,
So-
because of the weight.
yeah. So it's a pointless exercise because we can both do one extreme or the other.
No, but you didn't give an extreme. I give an extreme. You aren't given an extreme.
I just gave you an extreme of a trillion FA Cups.
Okay, now you're being
That's the
you're
most
being
extreme I can think of.
You're being non-realistic. I'm being realistic because these situations can actually happen.
All right, all right. So 2 league titles,
Realistically, I want
2 league
realistic.
titles, 2 league titles, and 10 FA Cups, or 3 league titles.
2 league titles and 10 FA Cups.
Well, there you go. So you can do it either way on the extremes. I don't think it's a very helpful exercise. I think that it just is a major trophy. It just is.
It is a major trophy, of course. I'm not saying that.
The FA Cup. It's a major.
Sorry. I thought you were saying it wasn't a major trophy.
This whole thing started because
I don't consider I don't consider the cup is a bragging right unless you win the league or you are successful in the league.
I agree with that, but I thought the conversation was: is it a major trophy or not?
No, it's considered a major trophy. It is.
Oh, sorry then.
In Italy,
I thought
they count it as a major trophy. For me,
I wouldn't use it in a dick measuring contest. Sure, like I wouldn't go to someone be like,
Premier League winner and go, oh, here's my FA Cup. But
yeah, that would be silly.
It's also got some relevance where I go, yeah, I'm happy we won the cup this year. It's a big trophy to win that.
It's sort of like if you've got 2 teams which are like level on titles or whatever, then it becomes sort of like a separator, doesn't it?
100%.
Or if it's tight, then sure.
I think the cup also shows that you can win in a different. So a league title shows you can be consistently good over a period of time. The cup shows that sometimes you could be a low end team, but you've got the right tactics. You can turn up in the big moments. The cup shows a different way of winning. The cup shows you can win in a different environment against different opposition, different types of tactics. I'll always have a lot of respect for the domestic cups. Hence why this year I think the DFB Pokal has been so interesting because you've seen so many upsets. Saarbrücken are in the semi-final against Mönchengladbach. They've knocked out a couple of Bundesliga teams on the way, including Bayern. The DFB Pokal carries weight there. And I think that ultimately, I don't like to see disrespect. I'm not saying the FA Cup is the equivalent of a Premier League. It's obviously not. But it also is a major honour. And I don't like seeing the disrespect put on its name like that. It's a very important trophy. And
it's also very impressive in terms of like the world of doubles and trebles. Like the double in England's only been done a few times. Like I think it's maybe only been done like single digit amount of times. You know, a team wins the League Cup and the FA Cup. It's quite it's a very hard thing to do. So I think that's probably where, when we're having debates on who are the best teams ever, that's maybe more so when the cups come into play, because then it's like, well, not only did they win the title, but they also won, this side quest, whatever, a FA Cup, League Cup on the side. So it sort of like adds to the success.
Winning the FA Cup used to be as big as winning the league. Is that
the FA Cup used to have a lot more weight? Yeah, the FA Cup used to be the biggest trophy you could win in England. It's lost some of that weight now, but it's still
back in like
when was that?
Yeah,
we're talking decades ago.
Yeah,
like
we're talking a long
60s,
time ago.
70s.
But yeah, back when it used to be like the first division.
70s is not that old.
Certainly before the Premier League. Well, that's why I said decades. Certainly before the advent of the Premier League, and decades preceding that. Yeah,
I'd say it was like the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, that sort of era. And then as the Champions League and everything started to come in, it was it started to lose its sort of pull power in the same way. It's still an important trophy, but people want to focus on the Premier League and the Champions League instead. But it's still, for me, a major honour, and that's why I get annoyed when teams don't win it. And teams try and throw it away, because
I actually got very upset when my manager played 9 bench players in the cup game.
Because it means something. It means something. You don't want to lose. You don't want to lose a game.
You don't want to lose a trophy. I don't want to lose any trophy. If I'm playing in a Super Cup, I don't want to lose a trophy.
Mm-hmm. So it carries a weight, and maybe it's just an English thing. Maybe it's just an English thing with the FA Cup. But I've always the FA Cup's always been
because
a
it's
very important
historical. It's very historical in England. Guys, by the way, I just want to say something. I'm actually 2 subs away from 15,000. I just
Come on,
realized.
boys. Someone do it.
2 subs
Oh.
away from 15. We have 380 people, and I'm sure 2 of you haven't subbed to the channel. So just 2 subs. First of
Or
all,
you-
like
or you
the
could all-
video, or you can
all
unsub.
unsub, and then it'd be very funny when he has to get more subscribers on his next stream. You could do that as well.
Listen, you can get to 200 likes now because we are 2 likes away from liking the video, and I can get 2 subs and I can be 15,000, which just happened.
Hey,
So, with
good
Nobbins
work,
and
guys.
Tom, we got 15,000 subs. Absolutely
Yeah.
fantastic. I'm not doing something special for 15,000.
Oh.
I am not. I am
16,000 is when he'll do
Everyone
it.
unsub, guys. Everyone
50
unsub.
Yeah,
He's ungrateful.
15,723. I'm doing something.
No. He's not grateful to his people. He doesn't appreciate. He's all on sub now. Get him back down to 0. Let's make him do another 1K special.
1K special. Halftime. Oh my God. Yeah, my man. Halftime hooks. Absolutely supporting the channel. Sender, if you became a member now, thanks to Halftime Hooks, I don't know who became a member, but you will get membership now and you will be a member of the channels. He gifted memberships to people. True Blue Clay, Phil B, Jacob. Oh, wow. Thank you, everybody, for supporting the channel. I think I have all right. Anyway, listen, I think I have to finish this. Actually, I have work. But thank you, everybody that supported the channel. Tune in later today. We might have a good stream later after the Chelsea game today with the guys, with the boys. But I want to thank Nobbins and Tom. Their channels are in the description. Huh?
Chelsea are playing today?
Yeah, Crystal Palace away.
I didn't even know. I didn't even know. I don't know.
Chelsea play Crystal Palace away.
Yeah, but it's going to be like the deadest game because there's no good Crystal Palace players fit.
Yes, it's just very strange. Crystal Palace, you look at their squad, I'm like, there's nobody fit. Anyway, listen, I gotta go. I have been summoned. Listen, people, I really appreciate everybody that watched us. We are, I think, on 200 likes. So like the video before you go. Thanks, Tom. Thanks, Nobbins. This was absolutely interesting discussion. And I hope I don't get comments after this. This is an anti-Arsenal stream. It wasn't at all.
I was literally supportive of Arsenal, and there were
Me
crybabies in the
too,
chat
bro.
having a
It's the
go at
fraud.
me. Like, what
It's
more
this
do you want
fraud.
from me? I'm so sorry I'm not predicting you to win the fucking league. My bad. What do you
This
want me to
fraud.
do?
I was on my best behaviour today. I didn't call Gabriel Jesus a backup striker for a team that didn't have a striker. I was on my best behaviour today for Arsenal fans. I didn't say anything nasty.
Someone said we don't care. Come on, you Gunners. You guys shouldn't care. See you guys. We're out of here.